Call it what? Cheryl?
You want to call this episode Cheryl?
Sure. We'll call it Cheryl. Yeah.
Just Cheryl.
Cheryl and then like an orchid emoji.
All right, you good? You ready? You good, Benarino?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm great.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Apartment Shenanigans, the podcast where two roommates just talk about whatever they want, favorite stuff and things. I'm Avery.
I'm Ben.
And today we're actually just going to talk about what's been going on in the world of Avery and Ben. Oh, and happy Thanksgiving. Happy late Thanksgiving. I don't think we said it last episode. And so a few days passed, but yeah, hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving. It was fun. Oh, so what's been going on, Ben? What have you been doing?
I've been swamped at work. So that's good. Just lots of projects and things. Some of the little stuff I've been doing, like, have been making a big deal, or at least people have been making a big deal about them. Like today, we had like a shipping computer basically on a rack, and then another one on another rack next to it. And I moved the computers together on one rack and took the rack out and then put a network printer in where it was, and like removed a bunch of excess wires that were there from the old shipping computers because they were given to us by like FedEx. And like everybody that walked by made a big deal about it. Even the CEO came by and was like, wow, something's different. And I was like, yeah, we took this rack out and moved this printer over here. And she was like,
you rearranged the whole room.
Yeah, she was like, wow, it looks great. Good job. It looks fantastic. And like a bunch of other, like 10 other people walked by and were like, something's different. Or like when I was working on it, they were like confused why, because I always make a big mess. I like throw stuff behind me, and there was like a pile in the middle of this like hallway, and I like walk away and come back because people grab me to do different things for them. And once it was done, everyone was just like, wow, it's so great, good job. And I was like, I just moved the computer over here and it's not even done neatly. I'm like, this job is only half done. Like, I want to redo all of this.
So either you're like amazing, or just like other tech before you really freaking sucked.
Yeah, I guess, because like I don't feel like I did anything I just moved it because I was told to, and I didn't even like cable manage the new computer on the other rack when I combined them. I just plugged the stuff in. And they were like blown away. So like little things like that are people notice and like think is a big deal, which is nice to be appreciated. It's just like weird and almost like I don't want to take the compliments because it seems like such a small thing. It's like, oh, good job, you pushed your chair in at your desk. Like, wow, that's so great. It's like weird, but I mean, it's definitely nice to be appreciated. It's just like,
I mean, and you're like in a small company.
Yeah.
Real fast. Turn down your gain a little bit. It's the top one. Turn it, the other direction.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say just put the mic farther away, but I think that'll be good. But yeah, you're like in a really small company, so like that is gonna like you're gonna see that difference compared to like where we were before.
Yeah, I mean the company's, I want to say like 300 people, maybe, if you include everybody that their checks are signed by the company. It's probably like 300 or something, which is small and larger than some, but like it's not, I mean, I don't know, it's definitely a lot smaller than the law firm we were working for before.
It's definitely like the
like way smaller.
Yeah. I mean that law firm is not international.
Yeah, it's not the smallest place I've worked for, because the place before the law firm was me and then the lady that ran the register and then the two like owners or whatever.
So I don't know if I would like
so that was
small,
such a small place. And I mean, working there wasn't bad. It was just the management and the people that owned it that were not that great, that it wasn't a very good fit for me. It just worked in the meantime. Mm-hmm. And then going from that to where we were at the law firm at such a big place was really different. And growing up, I always thought I would want to work at a bigger place because it's easier to like kind of hide in the background and like just like, oh, maintain, but like, nah, I like being at the small places. Like, I like walking in the door and I walk past people's desk and they're like, oh, hi, neighbor. Like,
it is, yeah, it's
super
nice
friendly. And when I'm like,
I mean, even at where we were, like, it was like that in the office we were in. But like with the end users, well, sometimes you had like the end users who call all the time. So
they do recognize you. But the majority of people that call in, like 95%, like, they don't care. They don't know who you are.
I mean, even today, like, I was on the phone a little bit more than I usually am, and like one of the end users, we were on the phone for a long time, and he was super nice, like so different from what we were doing beforehand, and like it's just a good change. But I'm also not on the phone almost ever now, so like
that's also one of my most favorite things is I'm never on the phone. Like, my phone calls are maybe, well, I've had like hour-long phone calls, but it's just because like I'm trying to get them through, or I'm waiting for internet like speeds and stuff because they're downloading something or whatever,
right?
And things like that. But it's not like a big deal. Like, nobody's ever like impatient about it. They're just like, oh, I'm in between, but like I only have a few minutes. I'm like, well, this is gonna take more than a few. And they're like, okay, that's fine, I'll just call later. Okay, cool. That's it.
Yeah, it is really nice. Like, just people who aren't just jerks or dicks to you, like that's just it goes a long way,
right? And I love that, like, people just like come up and grab me, or are like, hey, can you do this real quick, or like, I have this quick question, like, as I'm walking around. It helps my day go by faster. But also at the same time, when I'm like doing something where I'm busy, or I have things already stacked up for the day, and someone's like, hey, can you do this, or like whatever, and I'm like, they're like, it's fine, I'll ask tomorrow. Like, okay. And it's not a problem.
I mean, and you guys have multiple offices, and like, how big is like the office you work in?
Just the office employees?
Yeah, the people you work like that you see on a regular basis.
I want to say 50, but probably it's under 100.
Okay. Because like, we got 3 floors, about to be the 4th, because IT is just gonna take the lowest floor, and like, God, we probably have like 300 to 400 on our floors. We live in a building that's 11 floors tall, I think, and we have floors 7 through 8, about to be 6 through 8. Oh, sorry, 7 through 9, about to be 6 through 9.
Yeah, but I think inside the office, not all the factory people, but just the actual, like, the people that wear dress clothes to work. I know everyone's first name.
Okay.
So
yeah, I actually came into the office today, and I walked in, and right next to my cube there was just like a big box, like the size of like your dog cage there, filled with just like plushy balls in the shape of construction hats. And I was
stress balls. That's awesome.
I was so confused. I just looked over, I was like, do you know why this is here, Mike? And he was like, I don't know. Then some random dude that from CMIC, that again I don't know what they do, came up. He's like, hey, Avery. I was like, I didn't know you knew my name. Which, this guy looks like Schmidt from New Girl, if you've ever seen that show.
Nope.
Looks just like him.
Okay.
But he came up to me, and I don't know people's names, but they know mine. And I don't even have a name tag yet. People keep asking when I'm going to get one.
I have one.
Well, I've been a temp so far, so.
Well, yeah, so have I, but yeah, I don't even know when it came or when it got put up. It just showed up there. But the kind of place I work at, I came in this morning, and we have a temporary lead for IT, and he always kind of jokingly, but it also kind of bugs him too. I always spread out when I'm working, especially if I'm working on multiple things. It really gets spread out. And it always encroaches on his like desk. Well, not encroaches. I mean, I take up like 3/4 of it. But he was in yesterday, and I was out because I was hunting in PA for the first day of rifle deer season. And I came in today, and he wasn't here because it's only temporary, or he works like 3 days a week. But I came in, and all the computers I was working on last week that I had left out were all piled up on my desk. Like, it was up like to my forehead, and I had to like organize and take everything off my desk before I could even like sit my bag down to get my laptop out. So that was pretty fun.
A little passive aggressive too, though. But was it like all fun and games though?
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't like he was mad. He just did it because, like, honestly, if you cloned me, it's pretty much my personality. Like, we get along perfectly fine, and he's just that's how it is. Like, I reach over him to write on the whiteboard, and he's like, "Man, crack kills you, and you really smell bad today," or whatever. And I'm like, "Thanks," but he's not quiet about it. He says it like not yelling, but like he's definitely doing it to like talking a little bit louder to try and get somebody else's like down the hall or whatever is like to laugh or something. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to work there.
What's it called? Oh, well, God. Oh, now a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, Quentin, my older brother, one of the hosts on their new podcast, Movies HQ, small little plug there. He came to visit. So, actually, last podcast episode they were on, we were talking about Crimes of Grindelwald. We went to see that movie. But we went to the Guinness Brewery.
Yep.
That just whenever I told people that we went there, and the one thing I just remember was when we were at the touristy area, and there was like a picture, a sign, and it said that the Guinness Brewery was founded and a 9,000-year lease was signed.
Oh yeah, I told my mom about that. And she was like, "What?"
Like, it was only founded like 300 years ago, if that. I was like,
yeah,
this man, like, whoever signed that deal, like, one was like super smart, the other, like, 9,000 years, why?
Right, that's like really ballsy to be like, "Yep, this is gonna take off."
Exactly.
What if it didn't? Then they have like the brewery in Dublin like doing what? Nothing. You're like, oh, I don't know.
Maybe it would go from making beer to
I don't know,
games.
man.
I don't know.
Card games?
I don't know. Nintendo started as a playing card game company.
True, but
so
it's not like they went from making games to making wine or beer. So
could you imagine? I mean, the freaking Assassin's Creed has wine now, so that's
yeah. But like,
I guess
it's just a line like of it. I don't know. Like, I mean, you can buy Assassin's Creed like clothing and stuff too, like the coats, and that blue sweater I have of mine with the hood is from Assassin's Creed and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the zip up one. That's really too big for me, but and I've tried to shrink it like 3 times and it just hasn't shrunk. But it's all wool, so you would think. But
I actually have a Assassin's Creed jacket that I got a few years back too. I don't even know where it is, if I even have it still. But gosh, speaking of which, I got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I played only like 3 hours of it, but it was fun. I don't know, it's an Assassin's Creed game. It's my first one playing on PC, so it feels super weird and uncomfortable because I've played every single one on either Xbox or PlayStation. But playing that game, I need a new graphics card. It's not running terrible, but like when I do check my frames, it's at like a constant 45 to 50.
What are you? You're at 1080p. What, Ultra?
Yeah. Well, no, I was playing at 1080p, and it was I was messing around with it. I turned it to like medium, and
you turn off motion blur. Motion blur is the biggest thing that'll take up RAM. Motion blur doesn't bother you, but it makes me sick to my stomach.
It specifically bothered me in Spyro. Another thing, Spyro the Reignited trilogy came out.
This is all over the place already.
That came out, and like, yeah, it's a remake for all 3 Spyro games, the original trilogy on PlayStation. Spyro the Dragon, Spyro Ripto's Rage, and Spyro Enter the Dragon. I don't even remember the names of those games, but it's fun. It's 3D. It's on the PlayStation 4, I think. I don't even know if it's on Xbox, but I got it for PlayStation 4, and it's a lot of fun if you like those old 3D platformers and mascot games like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, I'm just thinking, what else have we done in the last few weeks?
Well, since I just finished talking about games, I also got Harry Potter, the Lego collection, the years 1 through 7.
Yeah,
that was
you're stacking up the games to have to play.
It was on sale for, it's usually $60. It was on sale for $25, and I was like, oh no, that was like my first Black Friday buy.
I didn't find anything Black Friday that was worth buying. And I've been looking at the deals, and like people are like, oh, TVs, and like we want to upgrade our TV and stuff, but like, sure, if you want an entry level TV, like they went on sale for like $400.
Quote unquote entry level for you.
Well, no, like,
okay, for everyone, Ben wants to buy a $2,000 TV for this apartment, and I was thinking, oh, we'll pay like $500-$600.
Right, which is an entry-level 4K TV now, because those TVs used to be $1,200-$1,400, but it's been 4 or 5 years now, so those have come down in price to where you could buy a higher-end 1080p TV like, 6 years ago.
I guess.
So,
that makes sense. But
it's just how it's come down. But like, I always buy the tier up from like middle of the road, not top end, but like.
What's a top end TV cost?
There's like consumer grade or like general consumer. Think of it like graphics cards, right? Like there's the 1080p level, there's 1440p, and then there's 4K. Mm-hmm. And when I bought mine, I bought it to play at 1440p because it's like one step up from like entry level, which would be 1080p.
I feel like most people buying TVs are buying like 2K, 4K TVs, not even 1080p anymore. I feel like people who have 1080p...
anyone that's buying a new TV now may as well buy a 4K TV, and you're going to spend $400 to $600 for a decent like TV. Yeah, that's definitely like where you're at to get the most bang for your buck. But I just like having a little bit nicer like quality and stuff. Like I'll pay for the little bit better quality or more features if it's something that I'll actually use. Like I'm fine with paper plates, but like,
which surprisingly the only paper plates we've ever had in this apartment is when we got paper plates from Domino's or something when ordering pizza.
But there's more value in having plates that you can just wash and reuse.
Right.
But like I'm not offended to eat off of paper plates.
Yeah, I mean...
like if someone's like, we only have paper plates.
If you're like a huge group of people
whatever,
here, I'd much rather use paper plates because plates go quick. And like you're like, I have all these dishes now. And
yeah, but we can just use the dishwasher, but you don't do that, so...
I'm apparently... I'm not weird, but all my black friends, they're used to not using dishwashers. And every single white person I met, they think it's a crazy concept for the dishwasher to be the drying rack.
When I was home last weekend, whatever, last time I was home, I explained that to my mom too, and she was like... That's weird. I'm like, yeah, like we fill up the drying rack and then he just puts them in there and leaves them there to dry. And she's like, yeah, I like that. I guess that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, but that's all he ever does. She's like, why?
Well, I go through moods and phases. Like there's that one time we use the dishwasher like all month and then now I'm washing it by hand again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go fast. Push the mic farther away from you. You're getting closer and it's like chipping a lot.
Clipping is what it's called.
I meant that.
Is that better now that I moved it away? And
no, he's getting closer.
So we talked about work.
What's it called? We got new mics, everyone. So how do we sound? I don't know.
I'm sure we just sound more like we do in real life.
We might not sound any different to anyone who's listening. What was I about to say? Oh, we put all the, not all of the episodes, but we put all the episodes I was able to archive onto YouTube. If you just search Apartment Shenanigans, you can also find them there. So, another medium to listen to us if you are enjoying the content and hate going to some podcast app.
We decorated for Christmas.
Yeah,
we upgraded our adult lives to have a tree this year.
How's it upgrading our adult lives?
I don't know, because even last year, if we had moved in before Christmas, we wouldn't have put a tree out.
That's true.
We totally would have.
We moved in like 5 days after Christmas. 6 days.
Man, we really did, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost been a year. Almost been a whole year with these Apartment Shenanigans. We've only been recording for about 5-6 months. 4 or 5 months. I don't know.
Yeah. But, yeah, so we decorated. Yeah, I don't know what else we really did.
That's all you got?
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think of what else we've done socially in the last few weeks or anything big in our lives.
I mean, we always
you just did your test to go full time.
This is
just
true.
Did your drug screening.
Some big things there.
So that's good. And you didn't get your results yet, did you?
I'm assuming I passed. Like, there's no reason I wouldn't pass. But like, my boss emailed me today saying, hey, on your first day, bring your passport or your ID. I'm like, cool, I will.
That's normal.
Yeah. So,
and I'm sure there's If you don't pass, I don't know. Somebody did something when you were asleep. Like,
if I didn't pass it, I blame the random girl who offered me to smoke her thing.
Which you did it.
I didn't smoke it, but
I don't know if you don't. I don't know why you don't remember not. But
no, I do. I remember not doing it, but it's just like I don't know. It's just like I'm super paranoid just because I'm paranoid, and like that would really suck.
Yeah.
I was talking to Mike today though, and he told me he used to work at, or knew someone who used to work at a like drug screening place, and he was like, for you to have any kind of like marijuana in your system, it has to be like you smoked a lot, like just a ton the night before. Like if you just did 2-5 puffs, probably won't even show up the next day. So,
right. Yeah.
But no, I didn't smoke it, so I don't think it'll show up. It's just me like, what if it does? Like that would be the worst luck of my life.
Yeah, no, I got you, man. That makes sense.
What's it called? Did you do any Christmas shopping with Black Friday? You said you didn't really find anything, but did you get anything for your family?
No, I haven't started.
Not at all?
Nah.
Dude, December is like 3 days away.
Yeah, I know.
All right. I mean, good luck then. How many gifts do you have to get?
Just my parents, which I usually do like family gifts, and then like all the kids do not all the kids, but like the four younger OGs or whatever, like my parents' kids, my 3 siblings, and I do a $20 like gift exchange thing. We've been doing that for a couple of years. And then I usually get the kids something to share between the 2 families. So, and this year I'm gonna,
like, what do you mean by share? Like a game or something?
Yeah, like I think last year I got both of them, both sets of nieces and nephews, games to play for like family game nights. Yeah, and then I usually get my parents something individually, but this year I am gonna get them a combined gift. I don't know. It's gonna be a technology thing. So
like you got them the Roomba how many years ago?
3, maybe.
Okay.
I think I just got my mom that and got my dad something different.
Okay. Really? That's an expensive gift just for one person.
Yeah, because it was like $600 or $800. Yeah.
I think it's like $500
that might have been Mother's Day or her birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was like a convenience thing, and like I try to do practical gifts, which my mom doesn't like practical gifts, but she likes getting them from me because she knows I put a lot of thought into it.
Does she like more like materialistic things, not like something weird at all?
She likes more of like the sentimental idea behind it.
Okay.
Like years ago we got her a Pandora bracelet, and then everybody got her like significant charms and things, and then she liked having the story attached to that.
I'm very indifferent about Pandora bracelets. Like,
well, it was just something that we did because then we could have gifts. We knew what to get every year,
but, that's the
but
thing,
it wasn't.
like,
that wasn't like the only thing.
Say like you get them for a significant other, like say you get it for a significant other, and you get them the bracelet 1 year, so that's like one like pretty big expensive gift. Then you get one charm. Mm-hmm. It feels like every single year or holiday or whatever comes up after that, that's what you're gonna get them, and it's like they know. And I
just make it a small like addition to whatever you're getting.
I get that, but I don't know. I feel like I kind of see it as lazy, but it's not lazy, especially if you get a really sentimental charm, and that makes sense. But I don't know. That's why I'm like slightly indifferent about them. I like the way they look.
It is that aspect, so it depends on who you're giving it to.
Right.
But yeah. So that's kind of our like holiday type of thing. What do you guys normally do now that you're grown ups?
Well, actually, I don't know. I probably started getting gifts from my parents and like everyone in my family when I just started making money. So high school, mid-high school, I don't know. My first job, I think, was my freshman year of high school. Like first. Not decent paying job, it's all Safeway, and I barely got any hours, and I think the minimum wage at the time was like $7.25.
That's what it was in PA.
I mean,
or $7.50.
I think right now the minimum wage in Maryland is like $8 something or $9 something.
Yeah.
Which, 1 second. But yeah, so I started getting gifts like around that time. But my parents have always gone overboard. Because like we have all of our family, including my mom, both my moms and dads live in Atlanta, Georgia. So they're like pretty far away, and my aunt lives in Florida, so my aunt would always send Quentin and I like movie gift cards or something. Yeah, and like we would use those because we always go to the movies. And my parents would just get everything for us. Like we would get. One year we got an Xbox 360. Like we had like the original Xbox 360. Mm-hmm. They randomly got us like the slim model that was better. I think it was because we got like the red ring of death like 4 times, and had to keep using the warranty. But like it was just a random gift. They always give us clothes and other things, and just overboard. And like after last Christmas, they were like, "We're gonna stick to just like one gift per person." We're like, "That's completely fine." Like we're older. We don't need like all the things that my mom already told me. Like, I'm not buying you any more game systems. No more games. That's all you guys were like. Why? Like, I want some games around Christmas. She's like, nope, not happening. I'm like, are you serious? Really?
Yeah.
I was kind of sad about that. Mm-hmm. So, and then even when like my mom comes by the apartment every so often, she came by and she saw us playing some games. She's like, this is what you spend your money on? I'm like, well, yeah, you told me you weren't going to get me anymore. So,
yeah.
But no, like, so this year I just got each family member just one gift. And I try to, it's always hard for my dad, but I try to get practical gifts or something I know they will use, especially like Quentin's gift, which you know what that is. I'm not going to say it on here in case he's listening. My mom, she's...
Oh yeah, it's the camera, right? It's the that new DSLR, right?
I don't know, maybe.
That Canon, or did you get the Canon or the Nikon one?
Maybe not, I don't know. Huh. Anyway.
Okay, well, I guess we'll find out.
We will find out. My mom is always just like, she's not hard to shop for, but she doesn't care what she gets, and she doesn't need anything, which none of us need anything, but usually it's like, oh, Quentin wants this anime convention, this anime figurine, he wants this pop figure. It's easy, but my mom's like, I want pajamas, I want a sweater, I want my nails done. It's like always like something just simple, and like I feel like I want to do more, but we don't know what to do. So it's always a little difficult, but my dad just doesn't want anything ever. And whatever he wants, he buys himself. So that's always kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Which...
I would just say experiences then for both of them.
I think I did pretty good this year. I'm not going to spoil it on here, but...
Oh, that's right, because your dad listens. You don't want to tell him you got tickets. But it is like, I'm not gonna say that, never
mind. So this is the first year. God, never mind.
Okay. So we'll move on from that.
What we've been watching recently.
Yeah. So I got him started on Mr. Robot, the USA Network show.
Which USA Network, great TV shows all around. White Collar is my favorite of all time on that network. Royal Pain is good. You don't know any of those?
I mean, I know them, but I've never seen them. Like, I don't really watch live TV.
Burn Notice. Either, this was like back like when like I think I watched a lot of them on demand and stuff.
Even in high school, it was like meh. Even growing up, I didn't really watch. I just watched cartoons and like History Channel and Discovery. So
ever since I watched like White Collar, a few other of those shows, I just like loved USA Network. Haven't watched it in a while, and when I found out Mr. Robot was USA Network, I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna like the show then.
Yeah. So we're midway through season 2 of that show?
And it has 4 seasons?
3.
3? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So how are you liking it so far? Because like you didn't know anything about it going in, other than like
Nothing
he's some sort of computer person.
I didn't even know that. Like I guess you could kind of assume from the name, but
yeah. So you went in blind, kind of like when I started watching it when it was actually live, when the first season came out, and stuff. So how have you been liking it so far?
I like it. It's really good. But you have to pay attention when you watch it.
That was a very canned response. Like you read from a script. I agree. You do have to pay attention. There's a lot of little details, which I think is good.
Which is good, but at the same time, like I like watching like I'm saying dubbed shows because I watch a lot of anime.
Yeah.
To be able to watch it, enjoy it, but also not have to pay fully attention to it. So it's sometimes hard to watch when you just kind of want to lay down and do nothing and turn your brain off. So like when I'm like messing with my phone, I'm like, crap, I should look at this.
Yeah, although I would say for Mr. Robot, it's really about the dialogue and the exposition you get from the characters and what you hear, not so much what you see. What you see,
for the most part,
there's not really any little like hidden gems that like allude to other things that happen later. There's not a lot of foreshadowing or anything like that, but it's definitely very heavy on dialogue. Like you can listen to it, honestly, I think just as a podcast or whatever, or like listen to the audio track and you would get the same story experience.
You probably wouldn't get like the impact of certain things, especially when you learn like I guess you can say like the plot twist at the end of season 1.
Yeah, you don't really get the character reactions that you see, obviously like facial expressions, but I think that the visual experience doesn't add that much to it that you're missing out on a whole lot if you just listen to it.
Yeah, because even because the main character narrates to the audience that he narrates.
Yeah, a lot.
So like,
and there's a lot of stuff like him just talking to himself in his own head.
Yeah.
So,
but no, it is a really good show. Like the first episode really focused on like the hacking portion of it, and like I think the opening scene, like the first scene you see, he walks up to this owner of a coffee shop, says, "Hey, I hacked you. You have all this stuff wrong with you. The police are coming. F you," and he walks out.
Yeah.
So like that was like the first time, like, okay, like that was a cold open, but like it was a good open. And like the rest of the first season's been my favorite so far, more than the second.
Yeah, you said you haven't really liked season 2 that much.
Not that I didn't like it, just not as
compared.
Much.
Yeah.
And but they both have different focuses. The first season is all about like this huge thing that they're gonna do. Second season is the aftermath.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. The fallout. I was thinking, also the show, when it was live, it lined up really, really well with current, like, weekly events. They have shots of Obama talking and stuff like that from actual, like, they ripped it right out of, like, news conferences and stuff.
Right, and, like, when you're watching it, like, I was like, did they get Obama to say this? But I was like, oh yeah, that was happening. Like it fits perfectly with the show.
Like eerily, like, because when I was watching it, I was also paying attention to like, not really, but like hacking news or whatever, like technology just stuff that was going on, and it lined up with like, the like Snowden and stuff like that happened. And then they reference it in the show that week after WikiLeaks like leaked it, and then like more stuff came out about him hiding in like the airport in Russia and like different things like that. Like it lined up and tied really well to current events. So that was really cool to watch it live, or like when it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Or when it was airing, I should say.
I didn't think about this earlier, but you saying that now, it reminds me just of like how like the TV shows of like the MCU stuff lines up with the movies. I remember, if you've seen Captain America Winter Soldier, right? That was a movie when like SHIELD, like, you found out SHIELD's like undercover, like they're bad. And like that lined up perfectly with one of the episodes of Agents of SHIELD. And I think I've never watched those shows, but Quentin was telling me the show opened up saying, if you haven't seen Winter Soldier, spoilers ahead. And like it lined up perfectly.
Yeah. I feel like it's a little bit different because that's a fictional universe.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So it was like, oh yeah, they just planned it that way.
And definitely like with it lining with real life, that is impressive and really cool.
And people were like, is this actually, because the hacking group in the show is F Society, and people were thinking like the show was basically about Anonymous, the hacking group Anonymous.
I mean, yeah, like the mask they wear and everything.
It's similar but different. But it lined up with a lot of because I started following their like news feeds and their YouTube channel and like Twitter accounts and stuff. Just because I was like, this is weird. This is lining up a lot. And I kind of thought it, but it's not about them, but like you can see a lot of similarities.
You can see the influence.
Right, exactly. But yeah, it lined up with a lot of different things that was going on that wasn't necessarily in the headlines of the news at the time. But it was things that like happened like kind of in the background. I think the premise of the show is really good, and it lines up. It literally is like a show made for me. Like it is
with
perfect, I think. I mean, it's not perfect, but
I really like the main character, but I like him, but I don't love him. I liked him a lot more in the first season. After you find out some stuff, I started liking him a little less, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I without going into spoilers at all, like we can talk about it off the podcast. Like after learning that, it just made me slightly turned off by him.
Oh, see, I think he gets better and better as it goes on.
He's very interesting, and
he plays the character so well.
He's a great actor, being able to do that. Like, it's amazing.
I think that's just what the guy. I think I think Rami Malek is actually crazy in real life because like, it just fits so well.
And if anyone like who's into games or anything, the main character, his name is Elliot, played by Rami Malek. He was the brother in the video game Until Dawn. If you played that, that's where I knew
you showed
him from.
that to me, and I was like, "Whoa, you're right. I didn't make that connection."
Yeah.
I just know him as a crazy guy from Mr. Robot.
Yeah, so like that's when I first saw the episode, I was like, he looks so familiar, and I was like, there he is. He's that guy. I don't know what else he's in though. Honestly,
he's in other TV shows, and he's been in some movies and stuff, but he's kind of played a crazy.
So like almost like stereo cast. Is that what's called? Stereo cast? Typecast.
Yeah, I guess. Like, he probably can play others, but he just plays crazy, like, really well. Just like the Dark Knight Joker with Heath Ledger. Right. Like, it just fits so well. Because he plays a different type of crazy, but
Heath Ledger's Joker, that was like a complete left field out of what he's played in the past. Like, when he was casted, people hated it. People were flipping out. But when they saw the movie, they were like, we were wrong. You're amazing.
Right. Yeah. Well, because he wasn't alive. But
that too, but
I mean, not because of that, but like
it was also like it had an influence. Like, wow, like we respect him more. And like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
So you like the show? It's growing on you.
Getting off of Mr. Robot, we were also watching The Resident.
Yep, another really good show. I always end up kind of liking medical dramas for some reason.
I'm looking it up now. The Resident is an ABC show. Fox. It's a Fox show.
Yeah. That's not too surprising because I generally like their shows too.
Really? What other shows do they do?
Last Man Standing, which is like a Tim Allen kind of comedy show like Home Improvement was. It's basically he plays the same character in everything he's in, which is
minus Toy Story.
No, you can see aspects of him in Toy Story.
Really?
Yeah, you can. I like Tim Allen a lot.
But The Resident,
The Simpsons is on Fox too. So
how would you? I've actually almost never watched The Simpsons.
I started watching from episode 1 like 2 years ago, and I'm up through season 4. I think I've seen everything up until halfway through season 4.
It's just too much, and like I don't know, like even Family Guy.
I don't
like I watched like when I was like flipping through the channels when we had cable, like if it was on late at night, I would watch it and it was funny.
Nope.
But like
I was like, I didn't find it that funny. I didn't find South Park all that funny.
I've never really watched South Park either.
I liked The Simpsons and Rick and Morty.
What about
that's the only two
American
in that
Dad
general.
That's made by the same people?
Nope, not at all. I just don't find that humor funny. I liked The Simpsons because it's smart, intelligent humor. Like, if you look at a lot of things about it, there's a lot of numbers and math involved in it, where, like, an example, Apu is on trial or is a witness in something, and they were questioning his memory, and he's like, oh no, my memory's good because I can remember, like, X amount of numbers of pi, right? Like, all the decimal places, and then that day that it aired, they calculated that the last digit he could remember of pi, and it was accurate. So, like, things like that, and the jokes and stuff are like intelligent and witty and stuff. Obviously, Homer's like his
Stupid.
whole like thing is different, but there's, if you look at it, it's actually really smartly written and a lot of like minor jokes versus like The Big Bang, where it's like, it's funny because they're awkward science nerds. Everybody thinks that's funny. I just don't find things like that to be as funny. Rick and Morty is the same way.
Rick and Morty,
it's really smart humor.
Big Bang Theory, never really watched. I've seen a few episodes.
I thought it was funny early on, but now it's just like, no.
Well, probably one of my favorite sitcoms is How I Met Your Mother. I like all the characters in that. I've seen it probably 3 to 4 times all the way through.
Yeah. I just meh. I'd probably.
Would you consider Scrubs a sitcom, or does sitcom have to have like the laugh track in the background?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, Scrubs is kind of a sitcom. It was more like a comedy medical show, not a drama, really.
I would say drama.
I mean, kind of, but not so much as like House was, or The Resident, or whatever,
Scrubs
or
has
Grey's. It wasn't that at all.
When you know, like, when you're in a drama episode, you know it. But yeah, like some episodes are just comedies, and some episodes like were musicals too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My mom said I would like either Friends or Seinfeld a lot too. I think it was Seinfeld.
I feel like you like. I've never really watched either that much, but just knowing you, I think you'll like Seinfeld more.
I think that's what she was saying, because like that's kind of my humor, is like quick wit and like smart and in
that bass drop though
things. So,
but no, The Resident. How would you like describe the show real fast? I don't.
Just kind of. If you're looking at it on the surface, it's kind of a basic medical drama. Like, it's not as much drama or hype as, like, Grey's was.
I've actually never watched that either.
Do some of the episodes
it's still
of
ongoing,
Grey's,
right?
I think it ended with 8 seasons.
I'm not sure.
Maybe. Don't quote me on that.
Let's look it up real fast.
But honestly, I would say it just looks like a money grab.
How many seasons did you say it had?
8.
The first thing
Is it 14?
15 shows up.
Okay.
But it looks like it's still ongoing.
Oh, okay. But like, so some of the episodes in Grey's, you're just like, dude, they are just putting the drama in this show on with a shovel, right? Like, they're not like scooping it for ice cream; they're shoveling it on. It just seems
that's like pretty. Have you watched Pretty Little Liars or like Gossip Girl?
Nope. That turns me off, because it's like, it doesn't seem natural. Like, oh, it's actually tense because like I really like the characters and this is what they would actually be going
like
through.
Riverdale. You watched the first episode of that.
Nope.
And you're like, I hate it. Too much drama.
Oh, I see. I blacked it
you
out.
Don't remember?
Nope. Because it just like, I like drama that seems natural, like from what you would get, like from doing that job or whatever that situation is. But
you want like a life in the day of whatever you're watching.
A day in the life, yes. But yeah, I don't like made up drama because it's just to have drama, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like comedy just to make it funny because it's funny. Like, I want it to be situational or like smart or whatever, or like well thought out. Not just be like, oh, it's funny because he got kicked in the nuts or he farted. Like, yeah, that's funny, like watching America's Funniest Videos, but not like every single joke is that.
But no, The Resident, the main character, I'm blanking on names. I don't remember. Conrad, thank you. Mm-hmm. Conrad is his name. But for anyone who ever watched the show Gilmore Girls, he is Logan Huntzberger, I believe his name was. Is that actor who's playing the main character in the show, and he's really good in it. Just his character alone, his character and the other guy, Devin,
the Indian guy,
yeah, they're my 2 favorites. I love them, and just the way, like, especially at the beginning when like he was still like kind of under him, the way they play off each other, the way he was like learning, like, you're gonna listen to me, if you don't, just screw off kind of thing.
Yeah.
And even like one of the more recent episodes, Devin went to him saying, I was a better doctor than you with this person, so it hurts me too, so shut up. Like, he like just the character development. It's a good show.
It is. I would say on a high level it's just a run-of-the-mill show, but definitely, I enjoy the characters in it.
Yeah.
And I really like Conrad's character because
he's a war vet.
That and his personality and the way he approaches situations. My mom said, "Oh, you should watch this," because she watched a lot further in than I had, because we kind of watched it together, like a couple
your
of
mom
episodes.
Watched The Resident?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And she was like, "Oh, like the main character really reminds me of the way you think about things, and how you're like, well, fuck the rules. I'm just gonna do what I want and get the right results, and then I'll apologize later," which is literally how I grew up, because my mom would be like, "Don't do that because you'll get in trouble and I'll have to spank you or, you know, put you in timeout or something." And I'm like, "Well, you might as well do it now because I'm still gonna do what I want." She's like, "Okay," so she would do it, and then I would do what I want. She's like, at least he understands the the consequences for doing it. Like, she realized, like, I knew that, and I was accepting of those, so that was like I guess a sign of growth. I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I don't know how to interpret that, but like, she sees that aspect of me in that character as well, which I definitely identify with him. Like, if I was in the medical field, I would do whatever, even if the hospital's like, oh, you can't do this or whatever, I would be like, well, I'm in the like job of saving people's lives, so I'm gonna save his life.
Right.
You can fire me afterwards, that's fine, I don't care, but I saved this guy's life, so whatever. Which I approach at work that way too.
I was about to say, like, in a way, you're like, the same way in IT. People
are just like, where I'm at now, they're like, cool, that works great, like, good job, that's just how you do things here. Like, you fit in perfectly because you just do it, and then you're like, yeah, no, I just decided that, and that's what we're gonna do. And early on, I like pushed with a couple of things, like small things, well, sort of, and like now I just do whatever I want, and they're like, okay, we got your back, whatever.
Yeah, and it's also just like building that trust, like they know you can do it now, and so that's good.
Well, I didn't even have to build trust. I could have come in and made major changes and just been like, this is what we're gonna do, and they'd have been like, okay. But it's nice, but it's also kind of unnerving, and it seems a little weird to me coming from where we were, where like everything was like questioned. Obviously it's a little bit different not doing phone support, but even other places, like, you had to go and like get recommendation from your boss on how to do this or that, and now they're just
just get some kind of approval,
right? And now they're just like, you don't even have a collar, run free, dog. If you leave and come back, great. If you don't,
we'll find you later.
Like, they're just like, okay, here you go. Here's the, the keys. Do your job. But it's nice to have that confidence, or them have that confidence in you for your technical background, and everything. So yeah, it just character reminds me of the way I approach situations.
Just going to like one last show that we've been watching and have been watching for a little bit now. I guess you're more new to it. Me, about a year. Been on it for a year, a little bit over, was Ruby.
Yeah.
The 6th volume started airing 4 weeks ago or so. So a few episodes are out now. 6th volume, I guess, what are your thoughts so far? Just quick, do you like it? Are you interested?
Yes.
That's really quick.
Yeah. I think it's good. It definitely has changed from the original creation and the original trajectory of the show. Personally, it doesn't bother me. I don't like some of the drama, and I don't like having you explain or show me some of the drama involved with it, because then I'm like, wow, I shouldn't like this, because I feel like I'm betraying the authenticity or whatever, which I kind of end up being hipsterish with things.
What do you mean by things I might show you?
We were watching some video, or you were explaining a video you watched about the drama, or a letter that came out from one of the workers or whatever.
That's like behind the scenes.
I was like, great, you're ruining this show, because I like the new style also, but
you feel almost like you're betraying the show. Yeah.
And like I said, that's just kind of where I end up starting to become a hipster with certain things. Like, I like my coffee like the way I make it, and I measure the beans in the water every time, and I use this like not normal or traditional
method
way to make it, because like that's what I like, and I just like to be consistent. But people are like, wow, you're a hipster because of it. It's like, I just know what I like, and so I just want to repeat that. I like having the same good cup of coffee every day. Why would you not? But yes, I do like it, but it has changed from what the original was.
I was talking about it with Justin, friend of the show, as well as Jordan.
Shout out Justin and Jordan.
Because Jordan knows a lot of people who actually work on Ruby, and he's actually living in Texas, where Rooster Teeth is located.
Okay.
And so I was talking about it with him a few nights ago, just like, because I really actually haven't talked to him about like the changes and everything, but we basically both agreed like it's changed a lot, and like people always complain like the fight scenes like really degraded and everything, but I will agree the fight scenes degraded. The ones we've seen so far in 6, specifically the most recent episode, spoilers ahead, with Neo and Cinder, I thought the fight scene was great. And even looking back at old Neo stuff, still great, still on par. But if the older stuff was like about the characters and the fight scenes, the newer stuff's just about the plot, the lore, and just creating the world that they're in. And I think that's really good because I just love lore in general. I think that's why I like all the shows I like, because it's deep lore, complicated lore, or just interesting stuff. And just newer Ruby from volumes 4 to 6, that's what it is. It's all about the world they're building, but previously they would have separate episodes called The World of Remnant explaining what the world is like, but now it's in the show and it's the main focus, learning about everything, the backgrounds, Oz, Salem, everything. So I really like it, and I hope it goes on, and hopefully we get more answers. But yeah. And that whole time I was talking, Ben was just making faces at me, trying to make me laugh, and I did not, so he just leaned into the mic and winked, as if I could hear the wink. Okay, anyway. We went to downtown Frederick, but that's not too much to note. Justin got punched.
Yeah, he got punched twice.
Got punched twice by a good friend of ours, Elizabeth. She doesn't listen, but hey, shout out to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of uneventful.
I had fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
But uneventful, like nothing to note.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if you don't have anything else, you just call this one.
Call it what? Cheryl?
You want to call this episode Cheryl?
Sure, we'll call it Cheryl. Yeah.
Just Cheryl.
Cheryl, and then like an orchid emoji.
I don't know if I could do emojis. Maybe.
I don't know.
Do you actually want me to do that?
Yeah, we'll call it Cheryl Orchid.
No one's gonna know what they're clicking on. That'll be so weird. Holy crap.
Yeah, it'll be good.
All right. So that's gonna do it for this week's episode, everyone. It was a little different, just us talking, but hey, that's what the Shenanigans and Apartment Shenanigans is about. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take it easy. We'll talk to you next time.
Talk to you later.